What up, world? Okay, just had a good lunch and hung out with the family a bit, and right back ready to work on finally, hopefully, deploying LiteFS to Fly. Pretty sure that I'm all set to do this, and I kind of think that I don't need to do anything special other than telling Fly to deploy my app to a couple regions. So let's just do that and see what breaks, honestly. So Fly region list, it might be show actually. Regions show app KCD staging. Or actually, you know what? I don't think I do I care to do this for dev? I guess I should. I should at least have one other region for dev, or for for the dev branch. Yeah, I knew I did this wrong. It is list after all. List, yes. Okay. Fly regions. Oh, actually, let's do one other thing. Fly blue-green deployment. Figure out what it takes to do blue-green deployments here. Also, as a reminder, if you want to join in chat, I only chat on Discord. I ignore the live stream YouTube chat as it is a source of lots of mean things that people say, and it's just basically impossible to do anything or have a meaningful conversation. So just do it on here. There's a link in the description. Okay, so yeah, I think it might be here. Blue, green. Here we go. Strategy. The strategy for replacing running instances options are canary, rolling, blue-green, or immediate. Default is canary or rolling when max per region is set. It doesn't seem to explain the differences. Fly, deploy, strategy. It literally does not say strategy on this page. Here we go. Thank you. This is what I want. Canary, the default for apps. Boot a single new VM with a new release, verify its health, then proceed with a rolling restart strategy. The default for apps with persistent volumes. So that's what I've got. One by one, each running VM is taken down and replaced by a new release VM. This is default. So the first sentence and last sentence are the same, I think. For every running VM, a new one is booted alongside it in the same region. Once all of the new VMs path health checks, traffic gets migrated to new VMs. If your app is scaled to 2 or more VMs, this strategy can reduce deploy time by running tasks in parallel. Replace all VMs with new releases immediately without waiting for health checks to pass. Useful in emergency situations where you're confident about release health and can't wait for health checks. Got it. If max per region is set to 1, the default strategy is set to rolling. Canary needs to temporarily run more than one VM to work correctly. The blue-green strategy will have behave similarly with max. Okay. I'm not sure which one is best. One by one, each running VM is taken down and replaced by a new release VM. I think I want blue-green. So, yeah. Deploy strategy, blue-green. Where's my fly toml? Fly toml. Deploy. Oh. Okay. Blue-green deploy strategy. And I think that's probably all I need to do. I may need to scale it. So we go to scale. Oh, and another thing I want to do is health check. Should bring this back. Actually, yeah, that's it. Okay. Let's get rid of all these logs that we don't need anymore. Yeah, we're done with this. I was thinking I probably should make my site more resilient so that a single blog post tweet can't prevent the whole site from coming up. I'm not exactly sure why that happened, because it only happened remotely or like on the production server. It's just constantly, oh, I'm not showing my screen. Thank you. Gosh, dang it. Thanks, Amir. I didn't realize I wasn't showing my screen. And I'm not running centered. Man, what is wrong with me? Okay. Thank you, Amir. Right. You ready? Let's get our flow on. Okay, app was running. Now we got to get LiteFS running. So I don't know, it might take 2 hours. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so it shouldn't bring down my site if a tweet is deleted. Well, I mean, once it gets cached, then it's fine, because if it fails, then we'll get the cache version fallback. Actually, Cachefied has received a new release, so I should probably update that. Oh, and it just, man. Gotta fix that. Okay, update Cachefied. Nope, I wanted, man, add 3. What is the proper way? What do they want you to do? Install Cachefied. Add 3. Like, what's the right way to update something without just blowing away everything? Because I pretty much always just blow away everything, and I don't ever feel good about that. I'll either do that, or I'll do this, and then like hope the package lock gets updated properly. So I guess it's just install with a version range. Okay, so let's see if they documented a release. So we got bug fixes. Caches work on unknown data types. Rename SWV to SWR. That was a bug I reported. Yeah, that's fine. Cache manager. Yeah, sweet. And they did this. Nice. Okay, so I can go here and get rid of this. And actually, we'll get rid of this too. Where'd it go? Don't need that anymore. Okay. So now if I go Cachefied, somewhere where we're using that, dive into this, I just want to make sure that, yeah, sweet. So cache no longer cares about its contents. We don't know. Who cares? We're just going to stick it. Oh, shoot. I accidentally hit Command Q. Yeah. Yeah, Amir, whoops. Amir, 12 years of NPM, nobody's figured it out yet. Yes, that's true. At least I haven't. Okay. Cool, so now I still can't use my git diff for some reason. Got to figure that out. Maybe I need to do something to update delta. Git diff delta homebrew. I don't know. This is not what I wanted. This one. See what happens if I search for this. "28 days ago." Oh, that's pretty recently. Uninstall, reinstall. I think I have that. Oop. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Now where's... I can't remember if it's in my dot files or not. Yeah, it'd be the git config delta. So git config. Oops. So it said add a dash dash, maybe. There we go. Oh my word. Hallelujah. Oh, it's so nice to have this back. Whew. And git log. Oh, I got that back too. Hallelujah. Thank goodness. I gotta go say thanks or something. Thank you so much. The bat cache build worked for me as well. Zev. This is... Okay. Whew. Hallelujah. Good news. Glad we got that worked out. So, great. Now, you know, another thing I want to do, I'm just going to update all the things. I don't have Redis in here anymore, do I? Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see. Jest gets updated. UUID gets updated. Let's find out what changed there. I hope your day is going rad. It is going rad. Self, thank you. Okay. I'm looking for releases. No releases. Change log. Breaking changes. Node 10. Yep. Okay. We're all squared away there. Post CSS import. Where's the releases? Okay, that should be fine. Is build, that's gonna change all the time. These, I'm betting that is an update to React 18 or something. A welcome change for sure. Okay, just trying to get to GitHub. There we go. Huh, we've got a link to Spectrum here. I bet that doesn't go anywhere. Yep. Yep, that happens. All right, releases. Default exports removed. Okay. Great. I can deal with that. No default export there. No, okay, so this one, here, let's just flush npm. All the other ones are probably fine. So this one's probably a named export now. I'm gonna just keep that one open. This one is good. That one is good. These are good. Good, good. Good, and this one will probably be that. That's my guess. Yeah, I should switch over to PNPM too. I don't know. While I'm making all these enormous changes, I've never used PNPM for reals. So I'm not sure I want to do that quite yet. Okay, I'm just going to move my mic. There we go. And we get a newer version of Remix. Hooray! Use data function return. That's going to be different. This will be serialize from. I think that'll come from Node. Okay.
NPM is done.
NPM is done. Okay. Reload. Just run TypeScript on everything. Looks like this is correct. Yep, so that's good. And serialize from is where I thought it would be. So, all right, let's fix all these other things. So, well, that's too bad. Did I upgrade TypeScript? Maybe I got a breaking change on the TypeScript upgrade. Something weird happened. So this is complaining because thing and item. Oh, might need an extends toString yada 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 constraint. There's something wrong here. What am I doing wrong? Too stringable. I don't know how to use this. Okay. Clearly, I am not doing this right. Too stringable thing. How do you do this? No, this is not right. I'm way off. You can't do a generic default. No, maybe it's this. Nope. It's not this, is it? There we go. Okay. This type parameter, item type. Oh, you know what? It's probably this is what, yeah, okay, there we go. Extends to stringable. I think that's where that's supposed to be. No, there it goes again. No. So be, yeah, oh no, we're gonna put it right here, I think. There we go. And then this is just disaster. It should extend to stringable, which should mean it is complaining because item type does not satisfy. So there we go. Okay, so now let's see if I busted everything that's using Listify. Yep. Null, yeah. So that's why I have typed Boolean. And now it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, and that's fine, and that's fine. Cool, okay. Neat. Fix that. Technically, though, it doesn't have to be toStringable. It only has to be toStringable if we don't provide our own stringify function. So that's when we start getting into overloads and stuff. But I'm not going to worry about that. That's fine. Okay, got that fixed. Cache server. Don't need to do this anymore, I think. Yep. So that's nice. Okay, cool. Let's run the type checking again. Okay, good. So we've got upgraded all the things. Commit, upgrade all the things, and blue, green deploys. Oops. Even with an upgraded jest, I still have this nonsense. I have no idea. I've run this before. To no avail. Well, it worked that time. Maybe it'll work this time. I don't know. That'd be great. I'm sick of that output. So, okay. I should go back in here and say thanks. Oh, and I wanted to go to health check. Oh, I already did that. Good. So we should be good. If I come over here, go to my actions, upgrade all the things. Oh, and look. And blue-green deploys. Whoops. No compare SHA using build SHA. Not refresh and change because there are no contents changed. Sweet. So if I go to KCD staging, refresh, what is it? Refresh commit SHA, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we don't have a refresh commit SHA. I gotta fix that somehow. There's something wrong with that. The health checks here are way nice and fast. Adding a head request to my app will make it not quite as fast. At least 100 milliseconds, if not longer. Yeah, it's 431. Now, I think KentCDOTS.com is, yeah, in the 500s pretty normally. Oh, that one was weird. Yeah, and this one's not even authenticated. So from what I'm seeing here, I mean, we're not getting as much traffic, but it's not like my site gets a crazy ton of traffic. I mean, it gets quite a bit. We can see Fathom, there are 34 people on my live site right now. But it's not a ton. I don't think it would make an impact here. So from what I can tell, SQLite is actually a little bit faster. That's the primary difference here. So that's neat. Yeah, we're getting rid of those logs now. I was just looking at that just to make sure there's nothing in here that shouldn't be shown to the whole world. Sorry, I just noticed this. Symlinks to modules, and it causes errors from my experience when working with newish libraries and whatnot. So it's like an experiment on an experiment, which gets complex. That's kind of been my take on it, or what I have noticed is that if you just use the default thing that everybody else uses, then you're going to have an easier time of it. And I just haven't seen such an enormously compelling reason to get off of NPM, other than it would be nice if my installs happen faster. It really would, but yeah, I also don't want to spend a ton of time futzing with my installing thing. So, all right, LiteFS example. Just going to look at this again. Oh, that's right. So the way they determine primary is based on whether or not there's a dot primary. So fly community. Define primary region for LiteFS. I'd like to specify which region is my primary region. From what I can tell, LiteFS adds a .primary file, so my app can tell whether it's in the primary region. But is there a way to control which region is primary? Oops. Okay. I hope your day is going rad. And another node can become the primary. That is what I was worried about. So I do need to set it up so I can look for this dot primary. The directory that LiteFS mounts on the file system provides a file called primary that the application that tells the application the host name of the current primary node. The application can use this to redirect write requests to the primary node. Yeah, okay. And so in here, the file path join, I'm not sure what this DSN thing is. I think that's the whatever the data, yeah, what is it called? Data source name. And that is set from, I think, yeah. Oh, we need a LiteFS YAML. Okay, so let's do that. And then we'll go to Docker. And they do that. This add dot dot, does that just like add all the files? I think that's what it does. But I'm going to be explicit here because I need it to be in a specific spot. So from other LiteFS YAML, that goes into its etc LiteFS YAML. Okay. Copy this, stick it there. Fly toml. Yep, /data. Okay, I'm not sure how they know that. Do I need to include SQLite and Fuse? Yikes. I need to do this. How to properly configure a LiteFS deployment. I'm working on deploying, or I'm trying to follow the tutorial. And the example includes some things I'm unsure whether, or some things that I'm not certain are necessary for LiteFS to be deployed properly. And it looks like this failed. That's too bad. Probably the blue-green deploy. Yeah, not available when volumes are mounted. Oh, interesting. I guess that makes sense because you can't have two VMs where they'd each have their own volumes, maybe. Rolling or immediate. And rolling, I think, is the default. So let's just leave that alone. Okay. I get some help knowing each piece that's required. So far, here's what I've gathered. LiteFS, Etsy LiteFS YAML, and set in fly tunnel. The path where the SQLite database will be accessed, the path to where the underlying volume mount is. Hold on a second. Just logging in to my staging thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is where SQLite is accessed. I don't know what the data dir is. I noticed in the LiteFS YAML, in the example, it has this line. I'm not sure what that is and whether my app is properly, and whether I need to configure something like that in my app. Actually, so let's see. Directory is created in my Docker file, because that's all they do. I also noticed that the example Docker file adds fuse Okay. Also, the example Docker file lists entry point LiteFS. Is this required? It seems the getting started guide leaves a lot to people to dig through the example to understand how things are supposed to be configured. This is especially challenging when trying to deploy a different language server. Yes, I am complaining. That last bit was a bit of complaining. Healthy complaining, maybe. I figured this one out. Turns out I had... it's a long story. Just going to link them over here. Feel free to watch this if you're interested. It was my own fault. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the thing that really has me concerned is this entry point LiteFS. I don't know what entry point means. Docker file entry point. So from this, so it has two forms, but what is it? Allows you to configure a container that will run as an executable. Okay. So my executable is now LiteFS as the entry point, so it can execute LiteFS example as a subprocess. Okay. So how does it do that? Okay, through the exec. There we go. Exec LiteFS. Okay. So in my case, I probably want to just run bash start sh. Now, where did they get this data dash slash db? So it's opening a SQLite database in the data source name, which is passed as that. Okay. So we don't need to worry about that, I think. I think that my .primary will show up in the slash data directory, probably. We'll just have to see. Yeah, okay.
You're doing so great. Don't stop now.
Just leave this open. Hopefully get a response soon. Okay, so I don't think that I need any of this stuff, but I might need this.
Your break is coming up. Begin to come out of flow.
Okay, and then this.
Sweet work. Now enjoy a break. Look away from your screen.
So we're definitely running this. I don't think we're running this. So maybe instead this should actually be, I'm supposed to take a break, but I want to get to a point where I push this so I can move on or take the break. Yeah. Oh. Good grief. Okay. I'm gonna just send this. Okay, yeah, now I'm going to take a break. I'll see you in about 5 minutes. All right, still at a total loss. And it looks like they're not, nobody's on right now. So just gonna look through this again. And here, actually, let's see. Yeah, I think I need to read this again. So this step right here, just clone this thing. It has everything all pre-configured. Well, I'm trying to learn how to configure it, folks. I don't need it pre-configured. I need to apply what this is doing to my site, but my site's not written in Go. My site's not simple. I need something that like explains, here are the things that are required regardless of what language you're using. This is not helpful. I mean, that at least is, I mean, you could add a comment that says, this is the important part. You'll probably have stuff like this already. Let's figure out what this console thing is. There we go. Thank you. I got, oh, rats. This is helpful, probably. Oh, here we go. This is helpful. Where was this when I was looking for it? Yeah, this page is very helpful. Okay. Candidate false. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I just didn't notice. Yeah, I've been staring at it the whole time. It scrolls with me, for goodness sake. Okay, let's read this. Okay, I think that sort of some of this goes over my head a bit, but I think I mostly get it. I understand at least SQL or what how LiteFS operates in capturing those API calls. There it is, yeah. So the primary must be able to change dynamically. Yeah. Okay, well, hopefully. No, I want to go there. There we go. Somebody's replying. Hooray! Same person who replied to my last one. That's nice. Build to be. That's cool. Okay, cool. So now let's take a look at this. Yeah, still replying. Mounting a file system to a mount directory and storing the underlying data in a data directory. The mount directory is a path that your application will use to interact with LiteFS. Okay. So let me just double check something here. Okay, so when we exec LiteFS example, we pass it data db. Mounter data. The underlying volume is, I need the fly toml. There's no fly toml? What? Oh, right. They have you create that. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't, okay, so the data dir is the mounted volume. The database URL should be the mount, point to the mount dir. Okay, so that means if I go to my fly toml, I have it /data. LiteFS /data. So that's where it's going to be accessed by the app. Underlying volume is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, my deploys aren't fast enough. There would be definitely people would experience some downtime. Man, I scared them away. They were replying. Okay, cool. So yeah, we need this LiteFS to exist. And then, yeah, our database URL points to that LiteFS. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that feature sounds worthless because it'll change every time you deploy the app. Can't think of very many use cases where that would be useful, but okay. I don't think that I need. Yeah, I don't think I need this to be persisted. Yeah, pretty sure that's okay. Hopefully. Okay. Fuse, that's what fuse is. Okay. Okay. We can add fuse, sure. That's fine. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, I'm still unsure where that .primary file shows up. I think it's gonna be in LiteFS data / primary. I think that's where it'll be. So we'll see. I'm still unsure of how to get LiteFS going though. Never mind. I don't know. All right, I'm just going to look at this really quick. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, the last thing I need is, how do I get this LiteFS binary? LiteFS. Oh, entry point is referring to that. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's try this. Hmm. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna need this also. Okay. Huh. Yeah, and then we don't need this, I think. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. And because I changed the Docker file, the build is going to take a bit longer because we are blowing away the cache. Let's keep that around for a second. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'll just favorite that guy. Oh. Do I've got another window? No, I don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I decided to take my break at that door knock. Oh, what up, Ben? Thank you for diving in. Well, let's take a look at the damage here. So it looks like deployment failed. Not a big surprise. We had to migrate because I changed where the SQLite database is located. So now it's under LiteFS data SQLite. So that's where we're connecting to, and that's where LiteFS has the mount dir. So the persistence is still in /data. That's where my volume is. But where my application integrates or interacts with SQLite is the mount dir. That's how I understand it. Feel free to correct me. And in fact, I will even join the live stream here in case you want to chat in there. That way you don't have to bother with joining my Discord, since you're so kind to be here. So anyway, that's why we had the migrations, because we don't have any data there. We're just creating it for the first time. And let's see. Yeah, so it did run start sh, which is good. Using console to determine primary cannot init console, cannot connect to console. Okay, yeah, so I have a console issue. I know that I have been able to do this before. I have done this. I have another notification here. Yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. Whoops. So yeah, from what, oh, there's Ben. Sweet. Looks like there's a certificate area. You may not have certificates installed on the Docker file. Okay, so I don't know what that means, but I can look at the LiteFS example Docker file. I don't see anything about certificates here or here, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. See if there's nothing in here about certificates. Okay. I've got certificates here, so maybe I need to add a certificate. Let me just look at that error again. So yeah, that bit, that is not my domain. I don't control that, so I'm not sure how any certificates I have would make a difference there. Yeah, so it seems like I must be missing something. Did I push this LiteFS example? I don't think I actually pushed this, yeah. But I do have, oh, actually I can't open it that way. So I have my own version of LiteFS example here. Yeah, I don't have anything here about certificates. So, except I have a license that looks like a certificate. But I mean, so far, like, surprisingly, most things seem to run okay. So it's just something wrong with this certificate. Some Docker base images don't include root CA certificates. Oh. So maybe this Golang or Alpine include a CA certificate. Docker base image Node.js CA certificate. I don't know what that means, what a CA certificate is. Yeah, I don't know what a CA certificate is. Add CA certificates. So apt-get CA certificates. Is that like an actual package? Okay, maybe this will tell me what this is. Okay. So if I add CA certificates here, let's get that out of my way. Purchased. I'm not buying anything as far as I understand. That's all there is to it, huh? How do I know what that file is supposed to be? Yeah, I have no idea. All right, Ben coming in. Looks like the app curl installs depends on CA certificates in the LiteFS example, so that's how they're getting it installed. Oh, okay, so they just like happen to magically be getting it. So maybe I don't have to do all this copying nonsense and just installing it will give it to me. Let's just try that. Add CA certificates. And probably CA certificates for and fuse for LiteFS. Yeah, Ben, if you want to hop on a Zoom, that'd be sweet. What do you think the safest way to get you that link, my friend? So I'm actually, no, Zoom is not distracting me from this task. Oh, you know what? I've got a cool thing. Check this out. I'm using ScriptKit, Zoom, create Zoom meeting, boom. Oh, this might actually display my Zoom thing, so I'm just gonna move it over here. But yeah, like creates
Recording
a Zoom
in
meeting.
progress.
And yeah, this is sweet. I'm gonna send this to Kurt. Could you get this to Ben, please? Okay. Sweet. So there's the Zoom meeting. And whoa, it's weird. I'm in two places. Yeah, so Ben, if you do want to join, that'd be sweet. Oh, can DM you on Discord. I didn't know you were on my Discord. Oh, hold on a second. Hey, there you are. What's up? I just noticed your DMs. Thanks for that. Sending you a friend request now. This would be crazy helpful, Ben. Thank you. Hey, hey. What's up, Ben? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Actually, let me make sure. Okay, 1 second. Good. I believe you all should be able to hear Ben. I have my, I'll just double check this. Oh, no, skip that for now. Loopback is the software I use for my microphone and other things. And yeah, Zoom is in here. So it feeds audio back into the computer. So that's what you should be able to hear when Ben has a chance.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, Ben?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Thank you so much for
Like an
joining.
Adobe program that was like messing with things.
Oh, well, don't we all have programs messing with things? Cool. I'm guessing you're watching the live stream, but that's like 15 seconds behind. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, I turned it off because it was messing with me. So
yeah. So so it looks like we actually made it pretty far on this. I'm just figuring out the CA certificate thing, and I did an apt-get of that. So maybe it'll just magically work this time.
yeah, I mean, so the CA certificates, they're just basically like a root certificate. So then other certificates on the internet are kind of based off of those certificates. That's how I understand them, at least.
Okay.
So if you want to actually validate someone else's certificate, you can do it through this kind of chain of certificates, and the CA certificates are the root ones that are kind of distributed out.
I see. So
I'm not a cryptographer, so don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's curious to
Totally
me if it's so easy to get a certificate, then what's the benefit? So
the CA certificates package is going to be like the public key version of those certificates. So the people that actually send out certificates, like Let's Encrypt, they'll use their private key to then sign those certificates, and then you can use the public key to then validate them.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So
yeah, I guess
all the public keys are open. Yeah, public key cryptography is weird, but you can like send out like one side of the key and let people validate that you've written something with the private side.
Yeah. I think I understand how that works. I'm just curious what purpose it serves if like it's so easy to just like what we're doing, from what I understand, is just trying to say, hey, console, here, like, I'm a primary or whatever, or like find me the primary or make me the primary. And console's like, I don't trust you. But like, if anybody could just add a CA certificate, then how does that validate who I am, I guess?
Yeah. So, I mean, the HTTPS on the console side, inside Fly, that certificate must be signed. I don't know the internal details there, but it must be signed by one of those root certificates on the public key, or their private key was used to create that certificate. And then you can use the public version of that key to validate that certificate. So that when you connect up, you can basically say that, yes, this server is who it says it is, or I think that's kind of how, again, I'm not super security guy. So
Okay.
It's really just on the validation side. And a lot of times if you're running like CA on your own, like if you ran it within Fly, but it was just within your private network, you wouldn't need that TLS encryption. So you could just run it over HTTP, and you wouldn't need that at all. So it's really more that we run like a multi-tenant version, like a multi-tenant console, and that's why you need it. And we need to let people be secure across that.
Okay. Well, it's still fuzzy to me, but I think that's okay, because like so much of what we're doing today is fuzzy to me.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. I appreciate you digging into. Yeah, we definitely need to work on some docs here. This is definitely still early stages. We're trying to we're trying to get this to where it's mostly transparent to people. Like we want to get it to where it's just like, hey, you want to use LiteFS, and you just like flip a switch. But on the road to that is a lot of just kind of like digging in and figuring out stuff and how it works for different languages and whatnot. So
Sure. Yeah,
appreciate
that
you
makes
giving
sense.
feedback. It's great.
Yeah, I think first of all, I need to apologize for my own ignorance because I literally just looked at this and didn't even. I don't know why I didn't see this left nav here, but seeing this config reference actually helped a ton.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So it would have been better if I'd seen the docs that you have written before I told you that your docs need to improve. So that they're not as bad as I thought they were
Okay, thanks.
when I was complaining about
No,
them.
we definitely need some work, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that. We'll call out that config reference in the getting started guide.
Yeah. So the one other thing that makes me less excited about this than the Postgres that I was using before is that I feel like this is a lot more of a vendor lock-in thing than the Postgres was because, well, I don't know, but I don't think that there's anybody else who currently runs LiteFS. So this is a Fly thing, right?
We don't have anything that's inside of LiteFS that actually is specific to us. I mean, really, you should be able to run this on Kubernetes. You should be able to run this. I haven't tried Google Cloud Run, but the idea is it should run anywhere. We don't necessarily, we want you to run, and I'll do my Fly marketing hat. We want you to run on Fly, obviously. Like that's why they, pay me to write this and make this. But ultimately, I agree. Like, I didn't want to join in if this project was just going to be purely Fly. So I wrote like LightStream before, and that was purely open source. And
Oh, LightStream was
LiteFS
your
is,
project.
yeah. So
Sweet.
this is originally supposed to be kind of what was in LightStream, and LightStream runs as a separate process. And just like a lot of the distributed system stuff gets really complicated when you don't have a lot of control over exactly who's writing to the database at any given time and trying to validate all the different transactions and all that stuff. So we ended up, it's kind of rebuilt as a file system so that we do get that fine-grained control. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
the progression.
So my understanding is that like LightStream, well, okay. Actually, can you first explain to me the difference between LightStream and LiteFS?
Sure, yeah. So LightStream you can think of as a purely disaster recovery system and single node. And I wrote this a couple years ago, and it was kind of more when it was like the worst timing, honestly. Like, I used to deploy out on stuff like DigitalOcean, where it was like you spin up a little VFS or VPS, and that node's always kind of running. And then the whole world kind of changed over to these very ephemeral deploys like Kubernetes and all that stuff, where LightStream didn't make as much sense. So if you have like a machine that's always running and you just are restarting a process within that, then LightStream still works pretty well as long as you're single node, and it runs as a separate process next to your application. Since like SQLite is a multi-process database, so you can connect to it from multiple processes at the same time. And LightStream essentially just tracks the log, kind of there's a write-ahead log inside of SQLite. Let me know if this is way too many details.
Yeah, I think I'm following.
Yeah. And it basically just tracks the changes and then ships them off somewhere else so that it can replay them later if your server suddenly crashes catastrophically.
Oh, okay. So it was never actually originally built for distributed SQLite. It was built for like resilient SQLite.
Yep, exactly. It was really purely disaster recovery. I mean, the thinking is like most applications out there, probably work fine on just like a single node. And, many of them probably work fine. Like if you have an internal application, they run fine on a single node. If it, has a little bit of downtime, not the biggest deal in the world. And it was kind of geared more towards those. Like eventually, yeah, sure, you might need this, 100,000 requests per second thing, but, while you have, one request per second or whatever, you can simplify your stack a little bit and run on SQLite. So that's kind of the idea.
I see. So LiteFS, though, kind of evolved this idea into being something that's more for regional deployment as well. Like, is it also intended to eventually handle 100,000 requests per second, or is there an upper limit to what you expect SQLite to be able to handle here?
Sure. So there's a couple of caveats I'll give here. So LiteFS is really meant to be, so it's meant to add on kind of high availability, so that the one downside to Lightstream is you only have one node, whereas with LiteFS, it's meant to be that, when you deploy out a new node and you take down the primary node, that it can switch primaries quickly. So you don't have that downtime of having a single node. And then the other side of LiteFS is that regional deployment you're talking about. So, a lot of performance, when you get down to the database level, if you're communicating over just like like Postgres, for example, even like within a single region, you could be having up to a millisecond of latency per query, depending on where you're at and, what region you're working with. And that's just, all the network stacks and all the whatever going between processes and whatnot. Whereas with SQLite, you can get a lot of performance, especially on the read side, of not having that interprocess or network communication. And the other side too is, pushing the data out to the edge, for people that are, if you're going from, the US to Europe, you're looking at 100 milliseconds of latency. US to Asia is like, 250 seconds of milliseconds of latency. If we can cut that out and actually put your data all the way at the edge, then you can get great performance wins for people in other, continents or countries. So to answer your question about the 100,000 requests or whatever per second, it depends on what you're doing. So if you want to get like write requests per second, no, you're probably not going to get to that level. But most people aren't write heavy at all. And
Right.
The vast majority is really read heavy. And that's really kind of where we're aiming to excel at. So yeah, a lot of stuff in LiteFS is geared towards that. So you could have thousands of requests per second coming in, handled at the region level, at the, locally, so that people are getting those, tens of millisecond latency times to the server.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And especially when we're talking about read heavy, because it's distributed, you could have tens of or like a million read requests per second, but because you're distributing it all over the place, it's not a single node is experiencing all those requests, and so you distribute those requests as well, which yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, sweet. So it looks like we have a new error to deal with, which is always fun.
Nice. At least it's different.
So we did get the primary lease, but then we had to destroy it because mount point is not empty.
Not empty. Can you go back? Let me see. Can you pull up the Docker file?
Yeah.
So I wonder if you're running, scroll down a little bit to the entry point. Okay, so you're running LiteFS. And then you said you were running, what's the word? Sorry, my phone's going off. 1 second. You said you were running the actual migration. Was that right?
Yeah. So that happens right here. So LiteFS exec tells Bash to run the start script, and this runs Prisma migrate deploy. That's what this bit is all about. This should not have happened because we already ran the migrations before at this address. Well, maybe it shouldn't have happened. So actually, this is a good question. When I originally had this was before the mount dir and data dir. So my SQLite database was just in the volume directory. Adding LiteFS, now my application interacts with the mount directory, and then LiteFS is the one that integrates with the volume. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that's probably why we actually got this migration going again, because this is not persisted to the volume. And that is the right way to do this, right? We don't want to persist the LiteFS.
Yeah, although, real quick, so I just noticed one thing. So on the Docker file, your entry is LiteFS, right?
Yeah.
And LiteFS is calling the start.sh?
That's right.
And then start.sh, that's calling LiteFS later on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I changed that when I didn't know what I was doing, so that might that could be a problem. Yeah, I believe that's supposed to be npm run start. So let's fix that.
Although I don't think that should be the issue, but I just noticed that. So
yeah, we'll just get that rolling while we're talking about the rest of this. Yeah, but that's going to be a problem, probably.
And then can you check the Oh yeah, go back to the Docker file real quick. Actually, where is Prisma executing against? Because like what I'm thinking is that I wonder if Prisma is executing against the mount before it's mounted and creating those files, and then it's
Oh,
mounting LiteFS and then
yeah.
doing that. So
So it might be right here. It doesn't actually. No. This should only talk to my schema file. So like this shouldn't impact it. Prisma doesn't actually start interacting with the database until this start script right here, which shouldn't run until the exec.
okay.
And I think we can actually let's see what happens here. Preparing to run, start as root. Now, where does actually? I'm not sure where that is coming from. Oh, you know what? I know where that's coming from. That's my fly toml right here. So I need to change this.
Yeah, there you go. It's overriding the entry point. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you should be able to take that out,
Okay.
and then it should run LiteFS instead.
Oh, so do entry point is LiteFS?
Yeah, but you already
Or
have that in your Docker file, so you
oh,
should be able to
okay.
take those out.
Okay. So when I have this, then I'm saying, hey, ignore the Docker file entry point. Do this instead.
Yep, exactly.
All right, that makes sense.
And then since you had LiteFS at the end of your start.sh, that's what I was running afterward. So
That makes sense. All right. No more entry for fly. Okay, cool. So this the currently running action is going to fail. So I'll just cancel that. Save a couple trees in the process, and then we will look for this one to work. Cool. This is really nice of you to give me some of your time to walk me through
oh,
this.
no, yeah, I appreciate walking through. I mean, it's always great to see people actually trying stuff out because it always goes awry compared to how you expect things to go. And you just learn more, and
This
it's
is
nice.
describes my entire life. The one
Yeah,
using the latest stuff that is still being actively worked on.
yeah.
That's what my website is. It's just like trying all this stuff. But I'm actually so here's a question for you.
hmm
Should I expect my website to improve in read performance a great deal versus Postgres?
I would say it depends on what you're doing. So I would say it's two different things. First of all, if you're getting, so do you right now have Postgres deployed at the edge as well?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's multi-region. Okay. So it'll be comparable, I would say, to what you see with Postgres, but the caveat being that I don't know how you structure your queries, like how many queries you have per request.
Yeah, it
Like,
depends. Most of the time, it would probably just be 2 or 3 at the most.
mhm.
And then there are some where I have an explosion of queries that I cache because I'm not good at SQL and I'll just throw a cache at it.
Yeah, that's always a good way to do it. Yeah, so the one really nice benefit about SQLite as compared to Postgres is like you don't have, I don't know if you've heard of like N+1 query performance
Yes.
issues. Um, so anyone else watching, like if you have an N+1 query issue or performance issues where you have one query that then spawns off, maybe you have to do a query per row of returned results. So if you query and get 20 rows back, then you have another 20 queries to call.
Hmm.
So the nice thing about SQLite is that like in the performance tests that I've done, um, I've seen, again, like Postgres, you can see up to, anywhere between like half a millisecond to a millisecond if you're going over your network per query. Whereas if you're looking at something like SQLite, it's really closer to like 10 to 20 microseconds per query. So you don't really have N+1 query
Hmm.
problems unless you get into like a crazy number of queries. If you actually look on SQLite's website, they talk about how they do like 200 queries per request on their website, and they're like, it's not really a problem because the overhead is just minimal.
That's wild.
So yeah, so you can really kind of break up. I know like a lot of people use ORMs, and a lot of ORMs have some configurations where you can kind of bundle up a lot of those queries together to mitigate those issues. But the nice thing I like with SQLite is you just don't have to worry about that generally.
Hmm.
So you can really, if you want to, have a query and then that query spawns off, 10 other queries, and each one of those spawns off another query. Like, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you can always tweak and tune, but it still goes pretty fast, honestly.
Cool. Hey, that's good to know.
Yeah. So
uh,
for your
yeah.
example, like, I mean, at worst, I mean, at most, I would say that if you already have multi-region Postgres, then you're probably only going to see, up to maybe a millisecond per query that you're issuing within your request, so maybe 3 milliseconds. So it's not going to
Hmm.
be staggering.
That's interesting.
But
So I probably have something wrong with my data model then, because I have my my ORM set up to log anytime I have a query that is over 50 milliseconds. And I get logs for that all the time for queries that are well over 50 milliseconds with Postgres. I'm probably just doing something wrong.
I mean, it depends. Actually, I don't know how those. It depends on where the slow query log is coming from. Like, if it's, do
Hmm.
you know if they are being reported from the node side or from the Postgres side?
It's on the node side. So maybe Postgres is running the query quick, but then it's like by the time it gets out and back into Node, it's taking a while to parse stuff into objects or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, just the round trip too could take a little bit as well. Do you have in your multi-region Postgres? Do you have your application nodes in the same region as the Postgres nodes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does seem like a long time. So maybe it is your schema.
Yeah.
Or 50
Well,
milliseconds.
I don't know if I've set up any indexes. I don't know how to do that, and I haven't
Oh, sure.
investigated that. So that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, indexes can definitely help for sure.
Yeah. I used to do, I was like business intelligence. That was what I was going into. So I was like
Oh, really?
all
Yeah,
sorts of database stuff, but I
yeah.
just super was not into it after a while. So
Just took like a left turn there.
yeah, yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Um,
let's take a look at this failure now. New thing. So
let's
that's
see.
good.
Um, okay, so this is a known bug right now where we're getting um, some issues when you restart if it happens during an open transaction.
Oh,
We're getting this fixed up, but so yeah, this is a known issue right now.
okay. So,
Um, so we'll have to kill the database that's on there, or like restart it. Are you
oh,
able to clear it off
yeah. So I'm
and
working in
reset?
a staging environment right now anyway. So I could like blow up the
Okay.
volume and recreate it if you want.
Yeah, that would fix that here.
Okay.
But yeah, this is getting fixed. We also have wall support coming, which fixes this as well. So there's different like what's the word journaling mechanisms in SQLite. There's a rollback journal and a wall mode.
Okay.
And we'll be supporting both here in the next version. But yeah, again, you'd be one of those early adopters that are hitting some of the edge cases here.
Yeah. Okay, let's list our volumes. Whoops, that is not how you spell fly. There we go. And then,
I got to
yes.
drop on here in just a minute too, but I'm happy to
Okay.
jump on next time you do a stream too. You want to
Okay,
chat
yeah,
some
I
more?
appreciate as much time as you can give me, and yeah, that's totally fine. Uh, okay, so then we're gonna create KCD staging size one. Oh, and I think I need a region. No, I'm missing something. Oh, and the volume name. Oh shoot, what do I call it? I can't remember. But it is the same as is in here. Yep, just called it data.
It's a good name.
Yeah. Okay, good news. So then I just kick this off again, and it should, like what we built in the Docker file should be fine to deploy or to try again, right? So
Yeah, and that checksum mismatch at least tells you that it's getting started up and it's not, it's connecting up and not quite syncing up
so
right.
will this uh, be a problem when I try to move this over to a different app that has a brand new volume in it?
How do you mean?
Well, so I'm
Like,
running on a staging app right now. When I decide, okay, app is ready to go to production, I've got a new app that's fresh and brand new to do that. Will I run into the same issue there, or?
oh,
Um,
sure. It occurs every once in a while. Right now, it's more intermittent.
Mm.
Once you get the fix out there, then you shouldn't see that anymore.
Okay, and as far as like timelines, we're talking weeks, not months.
Oh yeah, it's hopefully in the next. We're trying to get. So we just finished the wall support. Um, I guess we should probably get just a fix out here um, for the .2 version. But for the next version that's coming up is wall support, and then we have another thing called write forwarding, where you can write to a SQLite database from non-primary nodes. So like if you had a cluster within your like a primary region, you had multiple nodes there, they can all write to the database. So you don't have to worry about
Whoa, whoa,
re
whoa.
redirecting to a specific node.
What?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, dude, that would be amazing. So I
Yeah,
can write to any of them and they will just propagate magically.
it'll propagate magically. The caveat there, the main thing is we want to have people send all writes to a single region. You could run it, across regions, but the idea is that it essentially goes and grabs the lock, like let's say you have like two nodes in your whatever, I don't know where you're running DFW.
Hmm.
Say you're running DFW and you have two nodes. One of them's primary, one of them's not. The one that's not a primary, if a write comes into there, then it actually will request the lock from the primary node, and then it'll kind of catch itself up to the current state. It'll issue the write, and then it'll send that transaction changes back to the primary, which will then kind of update its state and then propagate them out. And I don't know, it sounds like a lot, but it
Yeah.
happens pretty fast under the
Hmm.
cover. So
Interesting. So the drawback here, of course, would be, um, well, yeah, I actually don't see a very big drawback. I was going to say that now the primary has to wait for all of the writes that happen, but it already had to handle those anyway. So like, if you're just looking at it comparing before and after, now at least we don't have to get all the way down the call stack and realize, oh shoot, we're in the wrong place. Send
mhm.
a replay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's kind of the idea. And then yeah, so hopefully like you do get some trade-offs, like there's some network communication that you'll have. So if you're really looking for like high write performance, then this isn't going to be the way to go. Like it's better to redirect to a single node or the
Hmm.
primary node. But if you just want ease of use and you're not doing whatever hundreds of writes per second, then this should work fine, in the tens of writes per second or write transactions per second
Okay.
level.
And the cool thing is that you could build your app that way. And then if it ends up being really popular and stuff, now you can start thinking about optimizations
Yeah,
and
exactly. Start redirecting the primary. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
cool.
then actually just to I gotta duck out, but just to answer that other question earlier about the high number of writes, or 100,000 requests per second kind of thing. If you do have high write load, so SQLite is single writer just by nature, that's how it's kind of structured. And we kind of have to adopt that same idea, but um, that's really only per database. So if you wanted to, we want to make it so that people can do, sharding easily by having multiple databases and they have their own independent write locks so that you can do scaling from a sharding perspective
Hmm.
without having to get too complicated and start running these big Postgres clusters. So
Yeah. Well,
that's the
cool.
idea.
There's an interim step there to keep
Yeah.
people from
So we're
Postgres.
trying to make it, evolve so you can kind of slowly move from, step to step to step as you need more performance and
Yeah.
optimization.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
I know you got to leave. Is there anything you can direct me to try on this? That I got the same error.
I got the same error. It was at um did you killed both, or sorry, how many volumes do you have, or how many nodes do you have
I should only
deployed?
have one volume now, and it's the new one.
How many instances do you have?
Just one.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is strange if you killed it and recreated it. I don't know how you would actually get that error. Um, yeah, if you can drop an issue on the repo, I can happy to peek
Which
into that and
repo
see
is
what's
that?
going on. So that's github.com/superfly/LiteFS. Yep.
Okay. Cool. I'll put it in there. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Kent.
See ya.
See ya.
What a cool individual. That was really nice of them. Okay, one sec. Okay, so let me just make this issue, and then I'm basically stuck, so I think I'll just go hang out with the family. And we'll see where we get to with this. One other thing, I think what I want to do though is I think I want to push another commit just to see if maybe this was some sort of fluke or something. Let me just look at this really quick. So I cannot open store, open database SQLite DB, verify database file, database checksum, yada yada. Does not match latest LTX checksum zeros. Yeah. Getting non-matching LTX checksum on fresh volume. This volume is brand new and completely empty. Here, let's try one thing actually. That is not what I wanted to go to. Where am I? Here we go. This is what I want. Whoops, there we go. Let's delete that line. There we go. Commit. And run this again with ICD staging. No instances found. Because it failed. Not rolling back. Same specification. Yeah, well, that's a bummer. I'm thinking it might be a good idea to do the mounter. Maybe? Okay, so no, that's fine. So what should happen is LiteFS sets everything up, and it's like, are you the primary? Oh, you are. So let me so what it'll do is it'll say, this is how I understand it. It'll say, oh, you're the primary. Great. Let me go to your data dir, and that is all of the latest data. And then I'll copy that into no, it doesn't. No, that's not how it works. So the data lives there. LiteFS boots up, and Prisma's like, hey, let me get some information about that data. And so it goes to get it from LiteFS, and LiteFS is like, let me just forward all your requests over to the data thing, and then I'll send back and I'm just like this little proxy. So, yeah, so we should not get these migrations every time. Yeah, I was just trying to think about this migration nonsense wherever that was. It's not here. I'm not sure where that was. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so let's finish this. Any tips? Help would be appreciated. And I'll actually just say Ben said this is a bug that needs fixing, and asked me to open this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I
This
wanted
is
this.
it.
There we go. There we go. Okay, neato. So with that, yeah, okay, neat. So we're good. There, and there. And we don't need a certificate there. And now let's take a look at how this last action is doing. I don't think it's going to work, but I just thought like maybe, I don't know, possibly could work. Okay, sweet. So we're there. See what happens. That's the checkout and created the release. It's being deployed. And let's see if I say fly logs. What does this say? Okay, starting to get stuff. Same error. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to try to retry a couple times. Well, good luck. All right, that is it for me today then. And I'm going to go chill with my family. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.